Okay.
Instead of separating these out, I thought I'd just do a combined review of 300 and 300 Rise of an Empire. And there's a lot of names that I am not going to get right, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But anyway, so we'll start with 300, which came out in 2006 and was directed and written by Zack Snyder and stars Gerald Butler, Zian Headley, Dominic West, David Wenham, Vincent Regan, Michael Fassbender, and a slew of other names that I will not get into. Anyway, yeah. So the real focus of the movie is Gerard Butler's character Leonidas, and this is about King Leonidas of Sparta and a force of 300 men who fight the Persians at a place I can't say in 480 BC. So this was based off of a graphic novel, I believe. I think it came from a graphic novel, who was the creator of Sin City. And you definitely see that. You see that here because this movie, and one thing Zack Snyder does really well is the style, and this is a very stylized movie. A lot of slow motion shots, a lot of kind of cool action shots going, ridiculousness, creatures, abs everywhere, boobs, just all kinds of things, blood, yeah, violence galore thrown into this movie, and it's entertaining. It absolutely is. It's entertaining. Is it ridiculous? Absolutely. Is it over the top? You bet your ass it's over the top. But I can't help it. I like this movie. And I had no idea Michael Fassbender was in this movie. It threw me off when I was like, look at that hair. Jeez. Okay. But acting-wise, I mean, it kind of worked. Like, I don't think the acting was amazing by any means, but for the movie, for the type of movie it's showing us, I think it worked really, really well. And for that reason, and this wasn't one of those movies where I did care about the characters, so it had that going for it too. It had, again, the action of it. It had the romance. It didn't really have too much play on the comedy, but I don't know. There's just something about this movie that was really, really entertaining. And giving it a rating 1 through 10, I'm going to go and give it a 6 out of 10. What? You just said it was entertaining, but you're only giving it a 6. Well, yeah, because there's a limit to where, no substantial plot will take you. The movie's not without flaws. I'm just saying for what the movie is, it's certainly enjoyable. It has something to it, but there's definitely flaws in this movie. There's too many slow motion shots for one. There's a lot of close-ups for whatever reason. There's moments where the CG kind of takes me out of it. The character designs are ridiculous. You have a lot going against the movie as well, so it's not like it's a brilliant movie. I'm not gonna give this a 10 out of 10, okay? But it is going to be higher than the sequel, 300 Rise of an Empire, which was written by Zack Snyder, but he didn't direct it. It was Noam Morrow who directed it. And you have Sullivan Stapleton, who plays the main character. I don't, Demosthenes, I don't know. Ava Green, who plays the villain, and you have Lena Headey back as the Queen from 300. So this movie actually starts off and kind of, well, not with the first scene, but it starts off generally with a prequel type format, but it's actually a sequel to the last one, so I think that confused a lot of people. Now, I will say the shots themselves, you can tell for the most part, again, there's CG that does throw me off. It's not all CG, just parts of the CG that I'm like, okay, that could have been done a little bit better. But visually, it does actually look better than 300. Makes sense. This one came out in 2014. The last one was 2006, so bit of a time gap there. And this did the actual interesting thing. One of the things I forgot to mention was I didn't care about the villain in 300. I didn't care about him at all. He had nothing. He was just a presence. And this one, Eva Green's character, I wish it would have focused on her even more, because she was the best part of this movie. Her character had a lot of history to her, and she was very interesting and well developed, and the acting was really good with her too, as she tends to do in movies. So I actually found myself being drawn to her character and wanting to know even more about her character, wanting to know more about it. And I don't know, there was a lot connecting me to her. So I wish her arc had played out a little bit better at the end of it, because I thought she brought a lot to it. Now, the main problem with this movie that you didn't have with the last one is because the last one you had Gerard Butler as the lead, and he did a great job as the lead character in that. But in this one, you have Sullivan stepping in, and it could be just the way his character was written, or it also could be part of his acting of it, or a little bit of both. But I just didn't care. I didn't care about his character, and it's supposed to be the main character that we're following. So when you don't care about the main character, that doesn't bode too well for the film itself. And whereas the last one it dwelled in a little politics, there wasn't a whole lot of politics to be had. It knew what it was. It was an action film. This one tries to incorporate politics even more, and that doesn't work for me. It's just not the type of film that it is, so I don't know why they try to do that. Now, the cool thing this one does do is it does bring other characters back. Both characters that died in the first one, and you see actually they had more of a history, so that was cool to them, and they're relevant to characters that are set up in this movie, as well as characters that were in the last one that they're continuing that character arcs for them, bringing them back. So that was really cool to have. The action mostly worked. Like I said, there was moments where it was over the top, even for the sake of being over the top compared to the last one. Like it's so over the top that it took me out of a movie when the movie's supposed to be over the top. So that's kind of like when you beat that your own kind of limit there, when you have a limit of being able to do it and you overstep it, it threw me off with a horse and running across ships. Like I just anyway, and the CG didn't quite work. So really what brought this movie down though was having that bland main character, and even some of the new side characters that were in here in this film I just didn't care about, or I cared about the others from 300. I just didn't care about these characters at all. They just came across as boring and bland and didn't have a lot of depth to them whatsoever, so there was nothing to connect me to them. But that being said, even this rating 1 through 10, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. So it's not really that much lower, but it is enough. I think there's enough hurting it to definitely drop it. Still a pretty solid sequel, all things considered. But that is my opinion on it. What is your opinion on it? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid. Click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace. You didn't actually think I was going to say this is Sparta, did you? Like, this is Sparta. I'm not going to do that.